Hey, Grant Davis with GDI Insurance Agency. We're going to do a series of videos and we're going to be discussing insurance, and we're going to talk about insurance from auto and home insurance to construction accounts to farming to transportation, life insurance even, and all these complicated little things that you hear about. I'm going to do short little videos and give you some ideas. I'm going to use the word generally. And I have to use the word generally because, and no disrespect meant by this at all, but nobody is in good hands. You are in contract. Remember, an insurance policy is a contract between you and an insurance company. Forgive me, I am at home in my home office. It's this virus thing, so everyone knows about that. So this is where I'm at right now. You'll notice the background change as we get back to some normalcy. Anyway, once you understand that we are in contract, then the next thing I'm going to say is I can generally speak to all of these insurance policies, but specifically your policy, I'd have to have it in front of me and read it. That becomes very important. That's important for you as a client. Also, some insurance agents that I work with will be watching these videos because I'm just going to point them here and say, here you go. Because I do a little training. And that being said, you got to read. You have to read those policies, or you have to work with someone that'll read them for you. That's what I do. So I read simple policies to complex policies. I've been doing that for 40 years. I read contracts. I understand how contracts attach to insurance and how they don't. So contractual transfer is a big deal, especially as we get into construction or larger mixed-use developments or things, HOAs and such. Anyone with a contract in agreement, which every company should have, indemnity, hold harmlesses, additional insureds and such, even for your vendors, and I'll explain why as we get into all of that. But remember, it's a contract. So once you get that it's a contract, things become much more simpler. So that being said, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to generally speak to it, but that does not mean what I'm going to say is exactly what you have. I just won't know that because there are differences in policies. And I can give you a simple example. A homeowner's insurance policy. Here in the Central Valley, over in the Bay Area, pretty easy to do, right? Get down in the canyons, down in the Hollywood Hills and such, they've become fire brush hazards. This is 2020. We've had some fires in California the last few years, and I'm going to tell you what, it's not that easy anymore. These are expensive houses built on the cliff over fuel for a fire, and a lot of them are burning or getting in mudslides. And so as we get into these big homeowners, and the one I'm thinking of right now, it's an actor in Hollywood that found me online, so that's cool. But that being said, it's a very expensive house, and it's $150 some odd thousand in premium. It's crazy expensive, but it's an expensive house with a lot of risk, and I have to read it all. I have to make sure that it attaches and it's going to cover what he and his family needed to cover, because he's not going to read it, and I wouldn't expect him to, but I will read it and I will explain it and make sure that it's done properly. That's what our job is. That's what we do at GDI Insurance. So again, we're not in good hands. We're in contract. Someone has to read that for you, or you have to do it. That's what we do, GDI Insurance. So you could just hire us. It's easy to hire us. We just do your insurance, and that's what we do. That is different. Not every agent that I know reads everything and understands how this all works. They just don't. And if they do understand that this is how it all works, it does take some time to get to the point where you understand that, because it's a lot of reading. I mean, you can get licensed real quickly, but to get to the point where you can speak to policies and contractual transfers and such like we're going to be able to do. I've been doing this 40 years, and we're a good-sized independent agency, so we represent a lot of insurance companies. And I've read all my competitors' policies at one time or another over the years, so I know the differences, and I have to go through them line by line to make sure everything is right still. To this day, that's what I do. That's why I still got paper and 2 pair of glasses, because you got to do a lot of reading. Anyway, so generally we'll speak to your policies. Please just remember, you are in contract. And for me to talk about your policy very specifically, I have to have it, and I have to read it, and I have to be answering questions about your policy that I'm reading, and then I can answer those questions. But generally, we're going to talk about insurance, okay? Thank you so much, and please start watching. We're going to add to the playlist, and we're going to cover it all. Just slowly add to the playlist. Thank you guys so much. I hope this helps everybody. Bye-bye.